Try to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Mark.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark, a.k.a. Derringer. Today is Sunday, September 15th, and you are listening to episode 226 of the Instant Action Podcast, your weekly source for planet-side news and information. As always, I'm brought to you by great listeners like you via the Support the Show tab on instantactionpodcast.com. So how's everybody doing this week? A lot of PlanetSide Arena news is flying around. I played some PlanetSide Arena recently, as everybody knows, because that's really the current hotness that's going on. I also played quite a lot of Classic WoW. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm fully addicted to it again and want to spend all my waking hours playing it, but don't have the time to play it in all my waking hours, especially I want to log in and play PlanetSide 2 and everything like that. And then, of course, next week it's going to get crazy when PlanetSide Arena releases on the 19th and the floodgates open for that. So a lot of gaming to be done in the month of September. So without further ado, what's in store for this week's show? Well, first I want to talk about the September 11th PS4 game update, which brought basically parity between the two systems finally. After that, I want to talk about the lifting of the PlanetSide Arena NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, and give my real thoughts on the game now that I can actually talk about it. And then finally, I want to give some props to a player who made some really cool PlanetSide 2 wallpaper and also show you where you can download them. So strap in as we hot drop into another episode of the Instant Action Podcast. So first up this week, like I said, the PS4 side of PlanetSide 2 received a game update on September 11th. This is the Dead or Alive game update, and I hate to say it, but dropping a game update with a Dead or Alive moniker on September 11th on 9/11, kind of cringy thinking about that, but I guess we shouldn't read too much into it because obviously it's not done on purpose for anything like that, but still kind of cringy to see that drop on 9/11. But like I said, I'm not going to spend much time on that at all. First up in this game update is the continent events, and the air anomalies are now changed so that they mirror what we have on the PC side of the game. Obviously, they restructured it, and now there's data buoys that appear in the center of the map, and anomalies themselves coat vehicles in a residue called Tempest, and players need to deliver the Tempest to the data buoys to score points. Galaxies can carry 500, Liberators 400, Valkyries 250, and ESFs, that's your Scythe, your Mosquito, and your Reaver, can carry 100 each. Any vehicle that is spotted will have a special icon that changes based on how much Tempest they're carrying at any given time. And if you kill that target carrying the Tempest, all of those resources are lost. Right now, and I don't know if there's any plans to change it, but the score for the alert, the first team to 25,000 points, wins the alert as it is currently. Again, I don't know if we're looking at a change to that or not. But as I said on the PC side, when this came out, this change to aerial anomalies gives some good different ways to play the anomalies. You can be that Galaxy pilot that just goes and gathers Tempest and drops it off, or you can be that ESF that really goes out there and tries to stymie the other team by shooting down your vehicles that are carrying Tempest. Again, like I said, the old version of the aerial anomaly, you'd get one team that would just kind of sit in the anomaly and that would be it. It was very boring. This definitely adds some change and some new elements to the aerial anomalies themselves. And again, now PS4 has it. Also on PS4, and somebody had mentioned this a couple weeks ago, wondering when this was going to happen, but the automated bounties have also made their way to PS4. It's an automated system, like I said. It's going to flag players who get strings of kills. Right now, it's based on players who have an active 10 kill streak, so that's 10 kills without dying or greater. There is a cooldown between how often it can occur, and you're going to receive a 5 stack of bounties once that's activated. And then every time you die, those bounties are taken away one at a time. Kills on bountied targets award a flat rate of experience instead of basing it on the stack count itself. Also, pretty quickly in this game update, also the death camera was brought to the PS4. So obviously, like I reported on the PC side, when you get killed by someone, you're going to get instead of seeing the top-down view of your body, it's going to track and highlight your killer for a few seconds before it actually refocuses on your corpse. And the goal from the devs is obviously to give newer players or existing or old players a better understanding of where attacks are coming from, and maybe ease some of the frustrations that folks feel that people are hacking and things like that. If you can see where your killer actually is, usually 99% of the time you'll realize that that person is not hacking. Next up in this game update, there were some changes to infantry. First, the Cosmos VM3 for the VS Max had its maximum damage reduced to 143 and its minimum damage reduced to 125. And as I said previously, when I reported this on the PC side, they felt that the bigger bullets of the Cosmos, despite the headshot damage reduction, made the weapon overperform when attached to such a high health pool target. And they want to keep the unique aspect of the weapon while trying to reel in its performance a bit. That's why it still has the big bullets, but now does less damage overall. Next, the NSXA Kappa, that's the NSO submachine gun. Its minimum damage was reduced to 42, and as I said before, that was an oversight with the minimum damage range of the weapon, where it was equivalent to the maximum damage. It is a slight nerf to it. Next, there were some vehicle changes. First, the Flash and Harasser had the model for the stealth attachment visuals changed for each of them. The Lightning's engagement radar attachment now uses the correct UI camera. On the Mag Rider, they took the mag burner in the utility slot and gave you rank 1 by default, and it's now a passive part of the vehicle instead of living in the utility slot itself. They did add an additional rank to the mag burner skill line, and they moved the cost of each tier up a rank as the first tier is now free, but overall the costs do remain the same. They also adjusted the regeneration rates of mag burner for better scaling at lower cost ranges. The fuel tank recharges to full are now 35 at the default, that's level 1, and then 28, 25, 22, and 20. They also fixed some frame rate issues where you'd have a drastic frame rate drop while trying to activate mag burner without an appropriate amount of energy. They also added a new utility slot called Recharge, and what it does is it instantly restores the mag burner's fuel capacity and momentarily disrupts lock-on attempts. At rank 1, it has a 40-second cooldown, and at its highest rank 4, it has a 25-second cooldown. They also added a new defensive slot called the multi-directional exhaust. This further reduces the time to recharge mag burner and also allows for limited horizontal strafe capabilities. At rank 1, it increases the mag burner regenerate by 15%, and at rank 4, it goes up to 30%. Moving on to the Prowler, and we just got this on PC as well. The new Rampart projector defensive slot is now on the PS4. Basically, while you have this deployed in your Prowler, you're going to receive increased front armor, and it's also going to project out a hard light barrier forward to shield allied infantry. And as we've discussed in the past, this is tied directly to the Prowler's health pool, and any damage you do to the barrier also gets done to the Prowler itself. At rank 1, the Prowler does get 10% additional front armor, and if you bump it all the way up to rank 4, it gets an additional 20% front armor. Next, the Vanguard had a new defensive slot item added. This is the Nimitz Reactor, and what this does is it replaces 1,000 Vanguard health in exchange for a quick recharging shield layer of the same value. It recharges 100 shield health per second at all ranks, and if you have rank 1, it's going to have a recharge delay of 6 seconds when damage is received, and then 15 seconds when the shield is broken. And if you bump it all the way up to rank 4, it's still going to have that 6-second recharge delay, but again, it's going to be down to 10 seconds when the shield is actually broken itself. Next, there were a few other miscellaneous changes, fixes, and additions. First, the new player experience one, and this was a big one coming to the PC, so I'm happy to see this on the PS4 as well. You will now receive 100 certs at every new battle rank through BR 100 instead of just the first 15. They also made some changes to continents and alerts so that the continent rotation has been randomized at server startup. Warp gate rotation has also been randomized at server startup. Alerts and continent events will now end prior to a server restart. They also fixed Esamir's continent lock benefit to no longer stack particle effects, and therefore a performance impact is greatly reduced because of that benefit. Moving on to infantry changes, there were a few NSO changes. First, NSO characters can no longer lock onto allied vehicles. They also don't receive grief, or they will receive grief for damaging unmanned allied vehicles, and they also should now be able to access faction-specific jump pads. Next, we had one implant change, and that's the critical chain implant. That buff no longer lasts indefinitely, which has been broken for a while. And then finally, almost finally, they changed some visuals, so now you should see nameplates correctly rendered for allied players. They gave the new visual effects for personal shields, which I like. And they also fixed some issues related to the impact effects when shooting targets with a shield layer. Finally, voice chat changes. They fixed a bug so now you're able to mute voice chat for specific players. And they also fixed some issues causing voice chat sessions you are connected to fail when entering or exiting squads and zones. So, again, the majority of this stuff is all stuff that is all on PC, or it's been on PC for a couple of weeks now. So I'm going to say I'm really happy to see that this came so quickly to the PS4. Definitely 2 weeks ago, somebody was asking me on my YouTube channel, when are we going to get the new bounties on the PS4 side? And I guess the correct answer was it would only take a couple weeks. This leads me to believe that we might see a lot more updates within a short period of time from them going to PC and then also coming out to PS4. So PS4 guys, you should be very happy about that. But with that, let's move on to our second topic this week. All right, that second topic this week is going to be PlanetSide Arena related because, as everyone is aware, they had a playtest session this past Thursday, I believe it was. Yes, it was on Thursday, and unfortunately for me, they planned it at 10 a.m. Pacific, which is right when I'm in the middle of work. So there was certainly no way that I could participate in this preview event, which I was kind of sad about because I did want to get in and maybe not so much live stream, but at least record some of my gameplay so that I could throw it onto a video for this week's show. But unfortunately, that did not happen, which that's fine. And the reason that that's fine, and I'm afraid that right now I'm going to burn a lot of the goodwill that I have with Daybreak Games. And why do I say that? I say that because now that the NDA is lifted for PlanetSide Arena, I think that I can give my true feelings about PlanetSide Arena right now. And again, if anybody at Daybreak Games is listening, I'm sorry, but As you know, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. I have an opinion about PlanetSide Arena, and maybe you'll change my mind as things come along, but I absolutely and completely hate the idea of PlanetSide Arena. There, I said it. I hate Battle Royale games. I do not play Fortnite. I do not enjoy Apex Legends. I even spent money on Apex Legends. And I hate everything about Apex Legends. And I think a lot of it is because I'm a terrible Battle Royale player. I hate everything that I can think of about PlanetSide Arena at this point. The only thing, well, I shouldn't say I hate everything about it, because there are some things that I like about it. I do like the art because it's PlanetSide related. I do like the fact that it's another game that's taking place in the PlanetSide universe. But that's, I do like a lot of the art, the weapons that are in it, because they're all, PlanetSide 2 weapons and things like that. But the things that I dislike about PlanetSide Arena so far outweigh the things that I do like about it, that as of this recording, I don't know that I'm actually going to spend money to purchase a copy of PlanetSide Arena. Now, could that change? Sure. If they offer free copies of PlanetSide Arena to PlanetSide 2 members, which they said they were going to do forever ago, but now haven't done, I might play it then. But as it stands right now, between the Battle Royale version itself, which, like I said, I do not like Battle Royales. They are not my type of game. Between the Battle Royale version thing, between the third-person view mode, which I absolutely hate. I do not like playing in third person. I like playing in first person. That's why I play first-person shooters. I don't play third-person shooters. And the fact that it's not a persistent war are some of the reasons why I am not excited about PlanetSide Arena. And as it stands right now, I don't know that I'm going to be playing PlanetSide Arena. Again, could this change when the Massive Clash mode comes out and everybody's playing it and everybody's having a great time, and it's less Battle Royale-y and more base versus base combat? I might rethink it. But as it stands right now, PlanetSide Arena is going to be launching in just a couple days. It's coming out Thursday the 19th in early access. And we've already seen the roadmap. So we know that we're getting squad mode, team mode, tactical loadouts, and a mod system on the 19th. I kind of like the idea of squad mode and team mode. 12-man squads, they're okay. But again, my experience with all these battle royales is I'm getting killed by somebody from long range with very little to any skill involved with it. And it's one of the main reasons that I really dislike battle royale games. So, now that the NDA has been completely lifted, I can talk about why I'm not excited about PlanetSide Arena. And again, I'm worried that I'm kind of burning some bridges at Daybreak Games by saying this out loud. But it's truly how I feel. And if someone like me, a community member for PlanetSide 2 since 2012, and before that, I feel like I've done a ton for the community, making people aware of their games and, pushing their games and stuff like that, and getting information out to people, to be so soured on a new game, a new PlanetSide type game that's coming out. I'm really concerned for the future of PlanetSide in general, if they're willing to sink all this effort into a game that many people see as chasing on the coattails of every other battle royale out there. And not to mention, this isn't even coming out as a free-to-play game. It's going to be $20 at launch, $20 at early access minimum to even get into it. Whereas you've got a game like Apex Legends, which was $0 to get in. So I'm concerned, I guess is the best way to put it. as I said before, can my mind be changed about PlanetSide Arena? Yes, and maybe that will happen. But as it stands right now, on September 15th, 4 days before early access, I don't even want to get into early access. I can't stand early access for games. It just feels like a cop-out for developers to push something out there completely buggy and say, hey, playtest this, give us your money and then playtest this for us. Again, I don't even want to get into that, but with a game that's releasing in 4 days in early access and getting a bunch of people into it, I am less than thrilled for this title to come out at this time. So that's me laying it out all on the line. Now that the NDA has been lifted, I felt like the past couple weeks I've had to sugarcoat all my discussions about PlanetSide Arena and be as basic as I possibly can regarding it. But I am one of the people who is a PlanetSide diehard person. I played PlanetSide 1. I played the hell out of it. I have all kinds of PlanetSide 1 swag on my walls. I played PlanetSide 2. I've gone to SOE Lives to celebrate PlanetSide 2. I did a live podcast at SOE Live one year. I feel like, and I hate to say that I'm this great person and you all should listen to everything that I say because I'm right and no one else is. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that if you've got someone who has invested as much time into the PlanetSide franchise as I have to be so underwhelmed and so totally not excited about PlanetSide Arena, that I can't be the only one. And maybe that just means PlanetSide Arena isn't the game for me. But I fear that a lot of the people playing PlanetSide 2 are going to jump ship for PlanetSide Arena. And because they're going to get that team v team type or outfit v outfit type battle that they're looking for, that they don't get so much in PlanetSide 2 itself. And I'm very concerned about the future of PlanetSide 2 right now. And obviously the future of this podcast, if PlanetSide Arena is really going to be as big a project as they say it is. But I'm done talking about PlanetSide Arena. Obviously, I'm sure that I will have a lot more to talk about next week after it's gone live and people are playing it and stuff like that. But unless a free copy makes it my way, I don't plan to be jumping in on the 19th. All right, so let's get back to some better news, I guess. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm letting everybody down or being a Debbie Downer when it comes to PlanetSide Arena. So let's talk about some more happier PlanetSide related news. And if you guys missed this on Reddit last week, a user by the name of 6Siren9 posted a whole bunch of moving wallpapers, faction-specific ones, for PlanetSide 2. And I want to say that a lot of these are really, really well done. You've got the nice TR one with like kind of a sparks coming up from the bottom of it. The VS one has rain in it. There's a jetpack one where you can see the exhaust. I have to say 6Siren9 did a lot of great work on these. And if you're someone like me who has PlanetSide 2 related stuff on the background of your desktop at home, these are definitely some wallpapers that you should check out. I'm going to include a link to the Reddit post that has a Google Drive link for all of these different wallpapers so you guys can check them out and use them if you want to as well. And to all the people that were hating on 6Siren9 for releasing a whole bunch of these in different posts during the week, dude put a lot of work into these. Why don't you just stop shitting on him and accept and celebrate the fact that somebody was willing to, make something cool like this for free and push it out to the community. Who cares if he did a couple a day, a bunch, and you got kind of quote unquote spammed by them? Big friggin' whoop. Get over it. Somebody did something nice for the community and people had to shit on him. So 6Siren9, I got your back on these. They're wicked awesome, and I hope that you do more. All right, with that, let's move on to housekeeping and wrap up this week's show.
Housekeeping. Housekeeping.
Come back later, please.
Housekeeping.
Not now.
Housekeeping.
Go away.
I coming anyway?
So unfortunately, no emails, no voicemails this week to talk about. So that is going to be it for this week's show. As always, how can you get in touch with me or the show itself? First, you should visit my website, www.instantactionpodcast.com. You can also email me at instantactionshow@gmail.com. You can call me and leave me a voicemail at 347-4VM-4PS2. Those digits are 347-486-4772. And finally, you can always follow the show on Twitter at InstActPodcast. But in closing, if you've enjoyed the show, please leave me a review on your podcast listening avenue of choice, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or anywhere else. Also, feel free to tell your friends and outfit mates about the show. But finally, thanks for listening, and keep spamming that Join Combat, formerly known as Instant Action button. Derringer out.
Oh my god, Derringer, please.